Today was one of my greatest earning days this year from the beginning of 2020. I played two stocks today, OXBR and BBGI. I called both of them on my Stocktwits account. Um, I basically give free trading alerts on my Stocktwits, so you can definitely follow me and check it out for yourself. Try it first on paper, of course, because I mean, you can still lose money with alerts if you don't know what you're doing and you don't have a plan. So just try it first on paper to understand the psychology behind it. Um, and as you can see, what I did today was stop entry play. And I'm actually working right now on a video about it that I'm going to release either tomorrow or on Monday. And I want to go on a topic. I want to talk about a topic that's very, very hot. I've been working lately a lot with brand new traders, new investors, and a lot of them ask me to basically teach them how to understand the charts better. And one big thing that you need to realize is it's not about the charts. It's not just about the charts. The charts shows you how much buyers and sellers out there. That's what they show you. But to understand the real pattern, there's a lot of more criteria that you have to go through before you make a trade. The biggest problem that I had as a beginner trader and a lot of other beginner traders have is impulse buying and basically thinking that a certain entry is the right entry because you saw it in a video or you watched it somewhere. But what you really need to do is learn the criteria and do it on paper until you have a consistent strategy. So first, I'm working with Thinkorswim by TD Ameritrade, and I want to let you guys know that they're not paying me or anything. It's not, I'm not being paid by TD Ameritrade, and I'm saying it like 100%. I'm being 100% real. I've tried a lot of other platforms. Thinkorswim by TD Ameritrade is the best platform out there, especially because it's free and everybody can use it. All you have to do is just open an account with TD, and they give you free access to it. So, and I mean, you get a live chart, you get pre-market charting, and you get news. So yeah, Thinkorswim by TD Ameritrade is one of the best platforms out there. And I'm using it with the VWAP. So what you need to do if you want to follow my strategies is basically get Thinkorswim and get the VWAP indicator. Now I made videos about the VWAP indicator. It's the only indicator that I use combined with volume. And I made videos about why and how to work with it, so you can definitely check them out. I made 2 videos about VWAP already. And a lot of people ask me why when they do the VWAP, they only get the VWAP line and not the upper and lower band. And the reason is you only get that with Thinkorswim by TD Ameritrade. So if you want to follow me, get Thinkorswim and you will get this VWAP. So basically what we get in here is the VWAP line, which is basically the average price traded, and we have the upper band, which means above average price traded, and the lower band, which means lower than average. So far, when we look at the chart, when we see this part of the chart, we can tell it's on an uptrend, and in here we see it's on a downtrend. Basically, a lot of momentum, a lot of hedge funds and big traders to get in, and then they sell their profits and they completely ignore the stock. So all that's left is just short sellers and people that dump the stock, sell their profits or stop loss. So we can see on the chart on this side uptrend, this part, and this part is downtrend. So what do we learn from it, and how do we learn the actual pattern? So before I buy the stock, I go into finviz.com. It's my favorite screener. Finviz will show you the news that's going on and why the stock is basically being pumped in price. And having good news like a deal with Amazon or something, with the time that we live right now, something that's related to coronavirus, COVID-19, anything like that will push the price up. Usually when it's just earnings and you have a big pump, a big buyer, it's not going to be the same, especially if the short float is low, and I'll explain. So when I go to Finviz, before I buy a stock, I would look up the name of it, the ticker, and I would basically see in here the chart, and it shows you basically the stats of the stock. So we can see, first of all, if we compare the average volume to the daily volume, the average volume is 31K and the daily volume is 11 million. So we have a stock that's traded above average volume. Usually when stocks are traded above average volume, especially when they don't have good news behind them. They just go up and down, basically pump and dump, and they dump hardly. They dump really hard. Another criteria is the shares short float. So you have the shares outstanding and you have the shares float. Shares outstanding is how many shares are out there, and shares float is how many shares that are tradable. And short float is how many of these shares are being shortable right now. So usually when you have a huge short percentage and you have a stock that's blowing up, it's going to keep blowing up for a couple of days because of all the margin calls, and all the shorts are basically buying to cover their position. When you have above average volume, it means that the stock is basically going to go up in price. There's going to be a lot of volume. There's going to be a lot of people interested in buying. And one more thing, when you have a volume that's in millions above the float, it means that there's going to be a lot of volatility, and it means there's going to be a lot of buyers, because it's all about supply and demand. So basically people understand that the supply is running out, but there's huge demand. So that's what creates the volatility, and that's what basically creates the breakout. After I look at Finviz, the second thing that I'm going to look at is Stocktwits, and I would basically open the Stocktwits app and look for the ticker symbol on Stocktwits. And the reason I do that is because you can get a lot of market data from Stocktwits, and you can also see a stock. You have the bullish and bearish tabs. So when you see a stock that has a lot of bearish in it, it means that it's selling off. And when you see a stock that's very bullish, it means that there's a lot of buyers. However, there's also a lot of pumpers on Stocktwits, and there's people that are ridiculous, and they're saying on stocks that they're going to go to 20, 30. Don't believe that. When I look at actual comments and I try to analyze, I look more at market data that people share to get some more insight on the stock. And after I do this quick analyze before momentum, and I have criteria, because these criteria are amazing for me, right? Pretty much not after it's done with the pump, but before the pump starts. Those criteria are amazing for me, because I know that there's going to be a lot of volatility and the supply is going to run out, so there's going to be a lot of buyers. However, and basically people, I'm known here for talking about pump and dump psychology, and the psychology that's going around pumps and dumps. And as you can see in here, there's a huge pump and there's a huge dump. The reason is because every other trader saw those criteria and they were interested, but everybody knows that there's going to be a huge pump, huge buyers in the beginning, and then all of them are going to sell for profits. So that's why you have to be ready on the first or second pump, because usually stocks pump once or twice, and after they do that, it's gone. It's all over. Some stocks, just like I said, depends on the short flow, depends on other criteria. There will be multi-day runners. And sometimes they will drop, sometimes they will drop and come back. It's really hard to know what's going to happen and which buyers are going to get in after the first couple of times when it pumped. So what I'm looking for is basically another entry with the pump, and I'll explain. So basically what it means is, if the stock is starting to pump and it's going through its first breakout, I would look for a highest point of the day to place an entry order, basically a buy order. And when it's passing that point, I know that there's going to be a lot of people that their orders are going to be filled, and that's what's going to push the price up. So that's basically my setup, and that's how I understand the pattern of the stock. And again, if you guys haven't followed me on Stocktwits, I give free trading alerts, so you guys can definitely check them out, try them on paper. Subscribe to my channel. I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. You guys are amazing. I got to 700 subscribers in a month period. It's crazy. Thank you for all the love. Thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Thank you guys so much. See you on the next one. Peace.